Well, we're doing something a little bit different today. It's fly versus lure. We're on Lake Eucumbene in mid-September, and if it looks cold, you're right. It's about 4 degrees Celsius, but with the breeze that's blowing, the apparent temperature is actually in the negatives. Very cold for this late in the year. There's been a bit of a cold snap. I've got Jo up in the bow of the boat, casting a fly. We're Loch-style fishing, which means we're drifting with the wind with the drogue out, and Jo's casting a team of flies down ahead of the boat, and I'm going to work a lure doing exactly the same thing, casting ahead of the boat as we drift, and it'll be interesting to see which goes best. It's not ideal conditions, bright, sunny, very clear despite the cold weather, and trout are notoriously tough when it's like this, but we'll see how we go. I've opted to tie on a suspending, shallow-running, hard-bodied minnow in a fairly natural, neutral colour. This Atomic Jerk Minnow should run about 1 metre deep on a long cast, I reckon. I'm fishing with 6-pound braid and a 6-pound leader, so long casts aren't hard to make, especially with the wind at my back. I crank the lure down to its running depth and then work it with a medium-paced retrieve, incorporating a few brief pauses or slowdowns and the odd flick or jerk of the rod tip. One of us is going to get a fish here in a second. And I won't be at all surprised if it's Jo. Yes, I told you. Well done. First blood to the fly. Oh, you've got your net. I'll just let you do it. Jo fly fishes competitively these days as part of the Australian women's team. In comps, they must remain seated and net their own fish. Well done. So this is good practice. Nice. Nice clean fish. We might keep him for the smoker.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he took my masked sparkler.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
I'll get him out for you.
Yep. She's allowed to fish up to 3 flies on her long leader. Is he cold?
Nice. Nice job. Well, that's interesting. Never had the confidence to throw those in.
What is it? Oh, you did get him on that. Good stuff. All right, I reckon we'll get another one here. Nothing like a bit of confidence. Carefully watch my hands as I work that lure. While the retrieve seems fairly constant, I'm actually building in little changes of pace and occasionally twitching the rod tip down towards the water. And it works. Oh yeah, oh, crazy fish. Obviously nothing huge, but it's a start for me. No, he's a little brown. Gee, jump like a rainbow. You've got to be a bit careful handling them with those treble hooks flashing around. They're lively little critters. One to the lure.
Mine's bigger.
Oh, yeah, yours is bigger, for sure. I'll pop it in the circulating live well and we can decide later whether to keep it or let it go. Right now I just want to get my lure back in the water, and almost straight away yeah, he's not too bad, is he? Net for this one, I think so. There we go. 2 in very quick succession. Let's have a look at him. Silvery fish. Very few spots. Real open water fish, that one. Skinny. It's almost like a salmon. Very nice. We're drifting in 1 to 3 metres of water adjacent to gravelly shorelines. And every now and again I use the outboard to adjust our position. If you're careful, you can do this without pulling the drogue on board every time. But be aware of those ropes. You really don't want to end up with one around the prop. That'll do it. As soon as I kill the motor, the drogue redeploys and slows our drift again. It's all about covering water, but of course some areas are more productive than others. These darker soaks and runoffs are prime hunting grounds for trout, as are structural features like trees and fence lines. And I'm adjusting the drift by angling the outboard leg too. But don't get too distracted. Oh! Oh! That was, I wasn't even winding, I was playing with the camera. And he must have eaten it on the slow rise. Yeah. This one feels better. Oh yeah, definitely.
Beautiful fish.
Oh, it's a cracker. Yeah, they're all brownies. Oh, he doesn't want to give up, this one. Another silvery fish. Got him. Oh, that's a nice fish. Yeah. Oh.
What a cracker.
Yeah, he's all right. We're definitely keeping that one. Nice. That's 3 for the lure. And I reckon I might find a few more along here. Jo's not discouraged. She loves her fly fishing and the learning path that she's on as she constantly strives to lift her game. There's another spin rod in the boat, but Jo's not reaching for it, even when I hook up again almost next cast. Oh no, it's a rainbow. Our first rainbow. Just a little fella. These fish handle and release really well in the icy cold conditions, and I get this one straight back in to do some more growing. Okay, back into it. Points like this one can be good spots, especially those with boulders and tree stumps lurking under the surface.
Big as your foot, your last one.
Oh, it's a rainbow too. Yeah, foul little rainbow. Oh, I thought that was going to be a lot bigger than that. Oh, he's a lovely fish though. Wow. It's like a steelhead. It's amazing. Things like a chrome bar. Look at that, huh? Hardly a spot on it.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Yeah, that's what steelhead look like. Hardly surprising, I guess, when you consider that Australia's original imports of rainbows were indeed sea runners or steelhead from Northern California. A short run back to the top of our drift provides the perfect opportunity to change or adjust rigs, and Jo's decided to lengthen up her leader and swap flies. Not too surprisingly, I'm sticking with my lure choice, and that decision soon pays off again. Oh yeah! Oh, he's a nice fish. They go pretty hard on light gear, and it doesn't pay to muscle them too much. Let your rod do its work. By the way, I'll list all the gear that I'm using here in the description and comments below. Nice one. Number 6. It's a handsome brownie. This is turning into quite a productive session for the lure. They're not a bad run of trout either. I reckon I'll be smoking a few up later. Yum. They're tasty tucker. But be aware of the bag and size limits where you're fishing. Of course, the action isn't constant. There are regular spells when nothing happens. That's fishing. But you can't afford to lose concentration for a moment. Keep working that lure or fly. It will happen.
There's another one.
Oh, lost the tail treble. My tail, treble, hook and split ring are gone. I probably damaged them getting the lure out of the net. I'll have to replace them, but for now the numbing cold and nagging wind have finally beaten us, and we've decided to head for camp. Tomorrow, as they say, is another day. Next morning we kick off in some slightly deeper water, and I've made a lure change to suit the 4 to 5 metre band that we're in. Let's see how it goes.
Oh.
What?
Go on. That's on the ZX Breamer. Oh, big fish too. I've been letting it go to the bottom and then just cranking it off. And I wasn't sure if I had weed or what. It was a slow take. Oh, it's a big fish.
This is where most good fish are lost. Try to stay calm and bring the fish to the net.
Long fish, it's not overly fat. Wow, he's skinny actually. I haven't put condition back on since they've spawned. Oh, big hooky jawed male. There we go. So we're out in deeper water in that 4 to 5 metre zone, and I thought I'd try a vibe, and that was about second or third cast. I'm just letting it go to the bottom and then just cranking it off, and when I figure it's come up to about mid-water, I pause, let it sink again, and I was cranking it off the bottom and it just came up tight and heavy. He's a lovely fish. I'm actually going to put him back. All right, mate. Off you go.
It's fine to eat a few, but it's also a really nice feeling to let a good one go. Jo's not giving up either. She's hoping that the slightly calmer weather this morning might favour the fly. On some days, this Loch-style fly fishing that she's doing can be absolutely deadly, but at the moment, the lure definitely seems to have the edge.
All right, oh, we're coming into shallower water now, so I'm actually going to swap over to my shallow running minnow.
It's really handy to have two rods rigged with different styles of lure. It allows you to swap quickly when conditions and terrain change. But again, make sure you check the rules and regulations about how many rigged outfits you're allowed to have per person.
Feels like we're in the zone now.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Now that, I saw the flash when he took that, so not very far under the surface.
Big fish.
Yeah, they're good ones in here. Doing the brown trout, he's not that big. Doing the death spiral. Having the landing net where you can easily pick it up is also a smart move. Minimise the opportunities for stuff-ups. Ooh. Look at the red spots on that. Beautiful. Off you go, mate. I'm having a bit too much fun here. I really want to see Jo pin another one on the fly, but it's just not happening for her. One thing I'm definitely noticing, as I so often do, is how regularly hits come after a change in the retrieve, particularly after a distinct pause. Watch this. There we go. It's another nice one too, and it's acting up big time. Another one of those very silvery fish. They're not carrying a lot of condition. They're still recovering after spawning, even though it was a few months ago that they spawned. They've come back down into the lake and they're feeding up to put condition on again. Back you go, mate. I'm a happy camper. I suspect the fact that these hungry brownies are up shallow looking for bigger protein packages such as yabbies and small fish is one reason that the lure's doing so well. That and the ability to cover more water. Whatever the case, it's definitely working. Oh, nice fish. What a performer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You think you'll need some help netting that fella?
No, you're right. Oh, that's too good.
Nice work.
Yeah. That just might be the fish of the day. They're so silvery. Wow. Maybe 50 odd centimetres, that one. And well over a kilo, I'd guess. Maybe even pushing 3 pound on the old scale. Pop him in the live well and decide if we're going to keep him. And up front, Jo's persistence is finally about to pay off.
There he is, there he is, there he is. Take it.
She's hooked up virtually under her rod tip to a fish that followed the flies up, and now it's giving her some on that fine tippet. I think Jo would rather 1 on the fly than 10 on conventional gear, and I get that. It's a lovely way to fish, no doubt about it. Fly is often not the most efficient method, unless there's an actual insect hatch happening, but it teaches you so much, and not just about fishing. It's more art than science, and that's a big part of its charm, I reckon. On these 2 particular days in mid-September, my lures outfished Jo's flies by a factor of 7 or 8 to 1. And while I suspect this will often be the case, it's ultimately not always about the numbers. We each seek different things in our fishing, and for Jo, the satisfaction of working it out and besting even one nice fish for the day brings her immense joy. Jo's dedication is obviously a big part of how she made it onto the Australian ladies team, and I'm very proud of her for doing so. Oh, and that's a damn nice rainbow too. Well done. While the fishing's actually been pretty good, the conditions have been incredibly trying, a lot tougher than they probably look to you on the screen. The cold was intense and the wind at times was fresh to frightening. I'm not surprised we didn't see many other boats out on the water. You've got to be pretty keen. And we are. It's much more than a hobby or a pastime for Jo and me. It's a life. One well lived, we reckon. We hope you've enjoyed sharing a little bit of it with us in this episode, and that you'll let us know with a thumbs up down below. And of course, if you don't already subscribe to the channel, we'd love you to do so. But for now, we're headed back to camp to thaw out. We'll catch you next time somewhere in the rich world of fishing. Until then, tight lines from both of us. Oh, and you might like these other two videos as well. Catch you later.